sign mean to you? My hot dog is much bigger, but it still costs the same, only $1.99.
Dr. Babble studies language and is here to tell us about the word percent.
Percent is made up of two words which you already know. You have seen the word cent before, as in century, centipede, centimetre. Cent means 100. You have also seen the word per before, as in kilometres per hour, words per minute. Percent literally means for every 100.
It looks like percent is just another way to represent a number between 0 and 1. A bit like a fraction or a decimal.
Yes, that's right. To explain a bit more, I have Professor Percentage here with me.
As Dr. Babble explained, a percentage is a number for every 100. Imagine we have a block cut into 100 parts. In another pile we have 5 parts. 5 parts for every 100 parts is 5%. You can also write this as a fraction, 5 over 100, or as a decimal, 0.05. 35 for every 100 is the same as 35 hundredths, or 0.35. 100 for every 100 is the same as 100 hundredths, or 1 whole. So if your original whole is bigger, the amount represented by the percentage will be bigger. Now it's your turn. Is 50% of the small crowd the same number as 50% of the big crowd? Of course not. 2 isn't the same as 10, it's much smaller. So you see that we can't talk about percentages without knowing about the starting point. What is represented by 100%, or 100 over 100, or 1? It must be a percentage of something.
So now we understand that a percentage is a special sort of fraction with 100 as its denominator. Just like every other fraction, it can also be expressed as a decimal. And we can't really work with a percentage unless we know what we are calculating a percentage of. That's all from the news team today. Now it's time for you to explore.
Yes, welcome to mathematics class. Today we will continue the topic we started in our previous lesson on percentages. Young scholar, I want you to get your writing materials set because we are going to be treating something new on percentages. This time it is word problems on percentages. But before we go further to do some word problems on percentages, can we have a quick recap on what was taught in our previous lesson? Now remember that the word percent is a compound word. When you split this word, it is per and cent. And per means 1, while cent means 100. Therefore, the combination of these two words, per and cent, forming percent, that means 1 are in every 100. 1 in every 100. And remember the last lesson, I told you the reason why we need to treat percentages and why we apply percentages in our everyday life. Now, I'll be telling you to refresh your mind once again. Remember that we have to convert numbers, decimals, and fractions to percentages so as to get how many times they occur in 100. So we have different numbers, we have different fractions and decimals, a wide range of them. Now if you are not comfortable with these numbers, I want to know how many times they occur in 100. You can convert these numbers of fractions of decimal to percentages. Now having known this, we are going to be moving further to treat some word problem on percentages right away. There is something else you need to understand about percentages. Now you must understand that percentage means part of a whole. Okay, meaning half a whole means 50%. Okay, So 1/2 of a whole, that's half a whole, means 50%. But if you have a full whole, so a full whole means 100%, which is 1/1. I guess you understand this. Now, if I have a full cake or a whole cake, I'm giving a whole cake to eat. If I eat a whole cake, I'm eating 100% of the cake. So I'm going to be treating some word problem. Assuming in Queen's University in 2016, we have male and female students. We have 775 females, and the male student was 364. Now I'm asking you, what is the percentage? What is the percentage of the female students in the university as at 2016? How do we solve this? Now, to solve this, we have to get the number of the female students first. Okay, so the total number of the female students is 775 divided by the total number of students in the university. So the total number of undergraduate students, we are going to calculate it. Now when you calculate the total number of undergraduate students, it becomes 775, which is for the female, plus 364, which is the total number of male students, of undergraduate students in the school, which is 1,139 if you solve. So if you have your writing materials now, you have to add up and see if what I'm telling you is correct. And you will see that 364 plus 775 is equals to 1,139 undergraduate students in Queen's University. Remember, the question is find the percentage of the female students in the university. So remember, I told you, to get that, you have to use the female students as the numerator, the total number of female students as your numerator, divided by the total number of undergraduate students in the school, then multiply by 100. Now let's proceed. Now we are going to be moving on. Now 775, which is the female student, divided by the total. Remember, we got 1,139. When you divide this, you are going to be having 0.68. When you divide, you have 0.68. Remember that you're going to multiply our answer by 100 because we are looking for the percentage. So therefore, when you multiply 0.68, 0.68 can also be written at 0.68 in mathematics. So when you multiply 0.68 by 100, what are you going to get? What are we going to get? I want you to do that for me. You move decimal forward twice. Remember, I told you how to convert decimals to percentage. So you have to move decimal forward twice. When you move decimal forward twice, you have 68. So 68% is the total number of female students in the university in percentage. Now, using this animated illustration, I'm going to be giving you further examples to illustrate better to you how to solve word problem on percentages. And I know at the end of the day, the picture is going to be clearer. Okay, we shall be moving forward to our next example on word problems. Now, our second example is a woman buys 50 tins of coffee and sells 22% of them on the first day. How many tins will she have left? Now, if you look at the question is telling us to solve for how many tins that will be left after selling 22% of 50 things bought. Now you bring out your parameters. Total number of things bought is 50. Then a percentage sold is 22. Now in order for us to know the number of things that is left, we have to convert the percentage sold to number. So I will know how much was sold. Then we can subtract how much that was sold from the total number so that we can get the remaining things that is left. Now how do we convert this percentage to number? So things sold become, remember our things sold was giving percentage. So 22% means 22 over 100 multiplied by the total things sold. When you do this, you are going to get the number of things that was sold in number. Okay, so we are trying to convert 22% of the things sold to a number. So what do we do? 22% is 22 over 100. Then multiply it by the total number of things sold. So 0 cancel 0. Remember, we have to simplify our work into simple form. Now if you look at 5 and 10, the same term can divide them. 5 can divide 5 and 5 can divide 10. Okay, so we will divide. 5 divided 5 is 1. 5 divided 10 is 2. So what do we have? We have 22 remaining. 22 times 1 is 22. Divide by 2. We got as our denominator. So when you divide now, you can see that I've simplified the work to make it very simple for us. So 2 divide 22, it gives us 11. So we have 11 things that was sold. I've converted my percentage things that was sold into number. So if 11 things are sold, how many things are remaining out of 50? So therefore things left become 50 minus 11, which is how many? 39 things. Okay, you can see the way we were able to translate our percentage sold into number, and we subtract, and we have gotten our things sold. We still have another example to do, and this example says, what percentage of 2 minutes is 30 seconds? What percentage of 2 minutes is 30 seconds? So what do you do? If you observe, you discover that 2 minutes and 30 seconds, they are not in the same unit. In mathematics, when you have two different units or more than one parameter that have different units, you have to convert them into the same unit before you proceed. So solution, the first thing we do is to first convert to the same unit. We want to convert to the smallest unit. The smallest unit here is seconds. So I have to convert my 2 minutes to seconds. So what do I have? 2 minutes. How many seconds make a minute? 60. So to convert my 2 minutes to seconds, I have to multiply my 2 minutes by 60. So 2 times 60 will give me 120 seconds. So now, indirectly, the question is telling me what percentage of 120 seconds is 30 seconds. So what do? Become 30, which is the smallest number, over the biggest seconds, which is 120. Now remember that we are converting to percentage, become times 100. Okay, that's 100 over 1. So what do? 0 cancel 0. Now if you watch, 3 and 12, they have a common term that can divide. So what do? 3 can divide 3, 3 can divide 12. 3 divided 3 is 1, 3 divided 12 is 4. So 1 times 100 give us 100. Okay, so over we have 4. Now when you divide 100 by 4, what do you have? You have 25. So our answer is 25%. So 25% is 2 minutes of 30 seconds. Okay, So 30 seconds in 2 minutes is just 25%. Or indirectly, you can say 30 seconds is 25% of 2 minutes. So whatever form the question comes, you can always use my solving to get whatever word problem you have been given. I would love you go over my teaching section, digest it, thereafter you proceed to my interactive games and attempt it. And I want you to be number 1 of the leaderboard. I've seen many of you on the leaderboard and I'm proud of you. And I want to be proud of you more times. Please, I want you to make sure your name is on the leaderboard. Be fast and be accurate while solving. After that, you go over to my assignment. You solve and upload for me for grading. Till we meet again in another interesting class. Bye for now.